This is Captain Walker aboard the United Colony Naval Vessel Redacted, operating on a classified mission. Begin recording. We're holding position in an asteroid field orbiting the Freestar Collective planet Nera. We began our approach at 0600 hours, passing within 50 kilometers of multiple Freestar patrol craft. Preliminary reports seem to suggest we slipped by undetected. We arrived at our current location at 0700 hours and began passive scanning. We've painted several vessels with our targeting sensors and haven't picked up any counter pings. Heat sinks are operating at 70%, keeping our ship signature to a minimum. Planetary scans have detected the bulk of the Freestar force operating in the northern hemisphere. We're bringing the ship around to acquire firing solution. Lieutenant, arm a dozen of our nuclear warheads, link their guidance system to the ships. Set them to detonate 1 kilometer above the surface. As soon as we fire, bring us around and back the way we came. We'll be long gone by the time the Freestar know what hit them. Hello there, and welcome to another Starfield video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a custom ship I have made myself. So this is the UC Stealth Corvette. Also, I hope you like a little intro. There's a lot of kind of like lore / headcanon behind this vessel, so it should be a good video. So yeah, so the kind of the design behind this vessel is the UC developing a kind of a stealth Corvette or stealth technology, and in this regards of stealth, I don't mean like, say, Klingon Birds of Prey where they can go invis. It's more kind of realistic stealth where it just kind of masks the sensors by way of having heat sinks and radiators and stuff like that to kind of dissipate the heat, to keep it on a kind of a very low level, as well as having kind of a design that basically would bounce back or scatter any sort of radar or LiDAR locks on the vessel. As you can see, that's kind of the intention with the those little kind of bumps on the top. Those little kind of the Deimos bumpers. They're there to kind of like, if somebody tries to ping the ship, or like they can't see the ship, obviously, if they're trying to check what's out there, the radar would hit it and just kind of scatter. So they'd get a kind of a negative kind of feedback. So yeah, so it's obviously, like I said, a lot of headcanon here. Stealth ships don't really exist in the Starfield universe that we know of. I mean, we have invis technology with the starborn vessels, but yeah. So there was a bit of inspiration with this vessel. So one of the kind of inspirations I came up or I had was the Donager from the Expanse, and that was purely the railgun turrets on the side. I wanted to kind of make this like you heard in the trailer. When it comes to the weapons of this vessel, its primary weapons are those missile pods at the front that can fire all manner of missiles or torpedoes. Obviously, in game there is no nuclear warhead torpedoes that we know of. We can get ships, but realistically, it's probable because we have them in modern era, and you know. So yeah, so this uses a lot of merging, pretty heavy merging, to kind of get some of the stuff working. Like, for instance, the cockpit is hidden inside the vessel, and there's kind of two reasons for that. First, I want to keep it hidden, and two, I quite like how I've done the interior, which we'll get to in a moment. So yeah, so its primary kind of weaponry is those like torpedo pods or the missile pods at the front that are merged inside. And then its kind of secondary armament is those two railgun turrets, those dual railgun turrets on the sides there, that can basically be used to kind of strike targets at longer range. Obviously, in missiles, you know, they're great for hitting targets, but if you fire a missile at long range at a ship, it's going to detect those missiles and try and evade, whereas the railguns are there to basically punch a hole in the ship so that it can't evade. You know, railguns inside in the Starfield universe, those railguns have a pretty minimal range, but realistically, railguns could operate well into several hundred kilometers, even thousands of kilometers. Railguns will get to a point where they become ineffective, but like railguns usually travel at like a small percent speed of light. It's not the speed of light. Like if we look at, say, Halo or Mass Effect has kind of mass drivers which are kind of similar. I know the Supermac in Halo operates at 4% speed of light, which is fast. If you're like, what? I don't know the maths off by heart, but if you're like within several hundred kilometers and that ship fires, you're not dodging that. You're taking that round straight through the gullet. It also has some laser weapons on the front there that are just kind of meant to be kind of an anti-ship beaming weapon, like, you know, like a kind of an energy beam weapon. I really wish there was a beam that was a continuous fire, like the Sentinel beam from Halo, because that's kind of how I envision the kind of the kind of that sort of weapon. So yeah, so at the back here, we'll get more into detail obviously when we tear down the vessel, but there's a lot of the stuff I chose. There's like specific reasoning behind it. So anyway, so it's got a fuel of 200. Fuel is kind of, doesn't really matter too much these days. It's more than enough. It's got a hull of 1528. So while it is definitely like gameplay wise, it's a very tanky vessel and it can do a lot of stuff. Lore wise, this ship has very little armor. It's basically relying on its shield to kind of keep it alive, and even then, its shield's not going to be active in a combat scenario because shields are hard to hide the energy. So a lot of situations, like in some science fiction, if you are too close to the enemy and they detect you, you might not have enough time for the shields. So generally the captains of these vessels like have to be like on point. They're very skilled individuals. Kind of basically they operate more like submarine commanders of the modern era. They're very tactical, very methodical. It's got some cargo capacity. Again, realistically it wouldn't need any, but from a more gameplay point of view, using the vessel, because obviously you're not going to be using this as a dedicated stealth vessel in game, it's nice to have a bit of cargo. So Reactor, it's got a C-class reactor with 40 power. It's got a crew of 9, which is really nice. It can house some people. It's got a jump range of 30 light years, shields of 1125. Now again, I didn't go with a max shield because I just didn't kind of feel it was necessary, because like I said, you could obviously do that. And then weapon-wise, we've got those missiles that are hidden in the front there. We've got the lasers hidden underneath. Then we've got the ballistic railguns. So if you were to build this, it'd probably cost around 600k with perks. It was built primarily out of Deimos parts, but we have some Stroud Eklund pieces and some other stuff built at my outpost. So yeah, let's go check it out. So here it is in all of its glory. So I don't know what that... Let's pretend that railgun turret sees something and it's watching it. But realistically, it's a bit finicky. So one of the things I'll showcase here a little bit. So I kind of like set these up in a way, so these are the radiators and stuff, but the way I've kind of set them up in my head is these are linked directly to the engines to try and dissipate as much heat from the engines as possible. So the engines run, when activated, the engines run relatively cool. Now, realistically, that's not feasible long term because of, how that works. And if you look at, I took inspiration from games like Elite Dangerous and Mass Effect. So it can only operate like extremely cold in, for let's say a couple of hours at a time, kind of like a submarine. It has to surface in a sense, but like its base kind of like energy signature would be quite low to begin with. Like your standard, like say your patrol crafts or your like kind of your border patrol vessels. When they pick this up on the scans, they're gonna it looks a lot smaller than it is, so they'd mistake it for a cargo vessel or like some small kind of pleasure vessel. So yeah, and then we've got the turrets there, and then at the back here, I tried to kind of keep the engine all open because I like the emerging here. I like the idea of like this is kind of the stealth component. This is what kind of generates the kind of the stealthy stuff. So yeah, let's head inside and check it out. Also, actually, before we got this front section here, originally I was trying to make a kind of a railgun type cannon at the front, kind of like a Mac cannon, but I went against that because I really like the idea of having those dual railgun turrets. Instead, we have the beams here, and we've got some merging just to kind of, Obviously, I don't have access to the scanning things just because on this save, I don't think I fully completed the Crimson Fleet questline, but if you were to slap them on, you would have a very stealthy kind of vessel. So in we go. And if we... So immediately we have a little 1x1 storage room, and then we have the engineering room, which is set up more like computer terminals. That was purposely chose. This is basically where they keep the stealth stuff online. All the stealth tech, keeping the emissions down, heat sinks operating, keeping it... Because it also has like a stealth coating, like I was saying, or not a stealth... Well, it does have a stealth coating to keep its like signature low, but it has those kind of bumpers on the top that scatter any sort of scans, basically. And then if we come over here, we've got another 1x1 storage room and 1x1 storage room. And then if we go up here, we have a crew control station here. This is kind of like a bit of a CIC. Again, another location for the crew. Because in the purpose of this, like I originally kind of see this as like it's meant for like to strike hard, fast, get away. So this would be where kind of like say in the intro, I was like kind of role playing about how they launched some nuclear arsenals down to the surface of Nera, and this would be the kind of the area where they would do that. They'd like be kind of like, you know, checking their numbers and stuff, making sure everything's operational. And then if again, I apologize, but I have a cold, so I sound a bit funky. If we come up here, we have our docking port above, and we've one by one. Now, this is where the merging is. Now, initially, I was like, ooh, but I actually quite like it. So we've got two little Deimos kind of things here. You can walk through them. But I quite like it because this kind of looks like a door. So obviously, once you kind of come in here on the bridge, it's completely like you can't see out. This is not a first-person ship. But I quite like it because the idea of kind of like, you know, like how with submarine stuff, you have to be very careful. Like, you can't basically, you got to seal your hatches and make sure there's no way like noise can kind of reverberate through the vessel and things like that. So I just imagine like that the crew are kind of like sealed away, kind of in a manner of speaking, like that. Then we have, obviously, we've got the control station here, and then we have the pilot seat. So we're gonna, oh, I'm out of uniform. I do apologize. So yeah, so we're gonna take off and we're gonna show you how she performs. I'm really happy with the design of the ship. I just, yeah, it was a couple of iterations because initially I had it as a B-class vessel, and like I really wanted the main things behind this ship is I wanted some really hard-hitting missiles and some really powerful railguns, and sadly, both of them require C-class. So, but we're gonna really quickly fiddle with some perks. So as always, I have perks to increase my power by 5, so we're just gonna... So weapon-wise, we've got those missiles there. As you can see, those, it's multiple missiles kind of linked together, so it looks like one, but it is not one. It will hit and it will hurt. Like, we don't have any ships to test, but I got attacked by some Starborn while recording, and a single missile to like the level 60 Starborn's hull took down about half health. Now, obviously, this missile, because it fires slow, it's kind of, you know, it's quite balanced in that regard, but it takes a while to lock. And then we have those laser weapons there. Again, they're very slow firing, but they hit extremely hard. And then finally, we have the ballistic turrets that we can control. So boost speed, we've got C-class engines there, so the boost speed is going to be 130, but, you know, that's not a problem. This ship it's fast, but it's not meant to be, like, extremely fast. It's its stealth tech that allows it to get ready to go. Boost speed, probably going to cap out around 450. Kind of is what it is. And then agility test, it's very agile, which it kind of needs to be. If you're getting, you know, you're taking fire, or like let's say you're trying to launch a strike at long distance, and they detect you and they fire back, you need to be able to basically dodge them and get out of there. Anyway, we're going to go down to the surface and I will show you how to build it. Alright. So we've got the ship set up into 4 seconds. I do apologize again. Usually when I do these recordings, so one of you guys might be able to actually assist me. So now that I record on OBS, basically, I only have like the one screen, because when I used to record an Xbox, I was using my laptop initially to kind of, as a kind of the capture device, so I could see what was going on. And now that I'm basically currently using my television as my kind of my monitor, I plan on getting another one in the future, but there's no real way of knowing when OBS is recording. So sometimes it's perfectly fine. Like I have OBS set to like hotkey. My mouse button will basically pause and play, and sometimes it works perfectly, other times it won't. That's why sometimes you'll see me pause and there will be like a weird kind of screen will kind of freeze up, and that's because I'm quickly tapping out. But if you guys know of a way to do that without, because like I said, I can use my laptop as a wireless monitor, but it's very laggy and sometimes it doesn't work. Obviously, I plan on getting a monitor in the future, but yeah, just if anyone knows any methods. Anyway, aside from that, so yeah, so we start at the top here. So, structural pieces at the top, we've got two Deimos Spine A's fore and aft here, and then we've got another Spine A fore, and then two Spine C aft and fore. Now, the next section, we have the Deimos Control Station 2x1, and then we have a Deimos Companionway 1x1, Slim Docker top from Deimos. And then we have these, so these pieces merge, so let me just show you real quick. So we're going to move this. So basically, this piece merges in here like this. I'm going to really quickly show you. And then these pieces like that. So if we drop this down like so. So this piece merges inside, and it's a simple just drop it down situation. You don't need to... Oh, no, you actually do have to do the technique. I apologize. So you just want to drop it down by highlighting it, and then... down it goes. Now, sometimes it will get a bit... Oh, I did it. Ours was okay. You're supposed to... It's been a while since I've made this ship. So we want to move these first, and we want to... This just slots in here like so. No, it doesn't. It slots there. And then you just... That's not connected. Yeah, that is not connected. That's... If you ever have situations like that, where... you're basically trying to, like, place something and it won't drop down, it's because it's not connected. So now, yeah, there we go. So you just slot that in place like so, and then you would get your two Deimos whole pieces like that, and then again, you just drop them down, and they slot really easy in there like so. And then let me put this back here like so. Now these two fuel tanks, whoops, come here. These two fuel tanks just sit, they snap here, so you just basically remove this. Snap one fuel tank there. Another fuel tank the other side in place. Just do a little flip technique. And then that is pretty much it for that there. And then this shield sits underneath. So I'll just show you here. This shield sits in there. So we're going to really quickly put the shield there. And then these pieces just do the flip technique to get them in. And then finally, these pieces sit on top like so. Now this piece, you have to basically drop it down. So we just bring this up a level. I like hiding the dockers. And then just like that, you just drop it down like so. That's the top level setup. So yeah, so... just showing the pieces again, because I don't think I did show the pieces. So we've got the Deimos Companionway 1x1 there, the Slim Docker, and then we have the Viking CP cockpit there, and then on top of that we have two Deimos hull pieces. We've got two of these Deimos cowlings here with the shield underneath, which is the Warden SG-40 400 shield generated from Second Shield System B class, 10 power. And then we have the Deimos control station here. And then for the structural pieces, we've got Deimos cowling 4. We've got two Deimos bumpers, 4 bumpers, and then 2 aft bumpers. Spine A, aft. 2 more cowlings. 4 bumpers, 2 of the large mid bumpers, and then 2 of the back bumpers, like so, and they're like that. Now the engine, which I'll show you here. So we've got the... So basically here we got a couple of things. So we've got an Apollo GV300 grav drive from Deep Core, C-Class 11 power, 50 jump thrust. And then merged inside of that, we have our Pinch 8C reactor from Xi'an, C-Class 40 power, 1350 hull. Now the reason I went with the Pinch is I like the exposed top. It kind of fits with the aesthetic. And then with the grav drive, I kind of went with this grav drive because again, it kind of is a little bit exposed. And then what I have here is, let me just move this. So I have this piece here kind of like merges inside. Basically, it sits in the bottom to give you a bit of storage, and it also kind of breaks down, or it like splits the kind of the thing in half. So let me just, again, to get this in, it's pretty simple. We're just going to basically do the simple technique to basically force it up. We just highlight it. And then up we go, like so. And then basically that's how it looks, like that. And then for the engines, so we've got 4 of these Amundsen X300 engines. C-Class, 3 power, 25, 890 engine thrust, 8400 maneuvering thrust. And they're basically merged two at each side. And then for the kind of the, excuse me. So for the kind of the radiator parts, we have HopeTech radiator and then a Deimos radiator. And I'll show you kind of how we build that in a moment. I'll show you at the kind of the end. And then for the kind of the main body of the vessel, we've got a Deimos companionway 1x1, an engineering bay 3x1, two storerooms here that you could swap for something else. I just like the storerooms because I like the doors. I like it being kind of more akin to, you know, like basically like a submarine. And then we have a Deimos hull A there that's just there for kind of, it's there to hide these missile pods. And then we have two Jishaku NDRF rapid railguns from Shinigami. C-Class, they're turrets. C-Class, 1300 range, 4 fire rate, 24 hull damage, and 3 power. There's two of them bad boys there. And then for the structural pieces, we have two of these Deimos hull A's, some Deimos wing E's, one on each side, and then some Deimos braking engines. These are kind of the main engine kind of pods that the engine sits in. And then we've got two wing A's here, flipped backwards, two wing B's, two wing C's, two more wing A's, flipped backwards. And then we have two wing A's that are merged in here. You can see them here. They're basically merged in like that. They're kind of connecting to that, so that way we can have this area here. And again, I'll show you how to do all this. So what you would do is, it's pretty simple. Like, you just snap them in like so. And then you snap these wingies to it. And then to get the kind of the weapon pods, as you say. So you want to... Basically, we snap that piece here, and it's just a simple case of dropping it down by like so. And then you move your missile pod, which is a HopeTech thruster. Makes a great missile pod. And then drop that down like so. And that's pretty much that piece there. Now, on the bottom here, we have our 120 LD landing bay. We've got a Deimos aft belly. And then we have a 320 CB landing gear. We have a couple of these merged inside one another. So we have so 6 total here. Let me just put that back. Yeah, so we've got 6 total there. And then I believe we just have one. Yeah, we just have one here. And then this component here, it consists of a few pieces. So we've got a, let me show you. So if we pull this back, let me grab these. So what we started off with is a this piece here. We've got a Deimos belly aft piece, and then what I did was I attached a Nova Galactic wing piece to it like so, and then I merged another wing piece into it. And the reason I did this, I'll show you now. We're just to merge it. You just basically the drop down. The reason I did this is so that we have a snap point on each side like so. So that allows us to basically put these little winglets here just to break up the kind of the design aesthetic. And then for the weapon mount here, we've got a Nova Galactic weapon mount with 4 of these Blaze SG2 SX lasers. Now, in order to get 4 of them onto one, I'll show you real quick. So basically what you have to do, come here. So perfect. So you basically snap one piece on like so. And then you snap come on now. Snap the other piece. And then all you basically do is you duplicate it up like so. And then we're going to drop it back down. No, what's wrong with it? We're going to highlight it. It'll drop up sometimes. That's perfectly fine. Just highlight again. We're going to drop it down. You delete the top one and delete this one. And then when you grab it, you'll pull it away. Now there'll be 4 lasers on this one here. So now that we have that, we just want to slot this in here like so. And again, we're going to have to add a snap point like so. And then we're just going to basically, like always, we're going to drop it down like that. Perfect. Now, the landing gear and this piece sits around there. The landing gear sits directly there, and then this piece sits here. Now, these pieces require you to... Basically, you have to place them underneath the vessel. So what we're going to do is I will show you that. Now, before we go that, I just want to show you the missile pod section before we do the engine. So here we've got 4 Devastator 1500 missile launcher from Horizon Defense, C-Class 4875, range, 1 fire rate, 71.39 engine and shield damage, and 3 power, and there's 4 of them mounted on here. So this basically just sits here like so. And then it's like dropped down, I believe. Let me check, is it? I believe it's dropped down. I'm gonna put the ship back together and show you for definite. Yeah, okay, so yeah, so it's dropped down. So it basically sits inside here. It snaps. Let me show them, move it. It snaps that. So how you would do this is basically you would have, you just slap this like that. So I'm going to move these because there's 4 inside of it like so. So what you want to do, the first thing you want to do is you want to get your equipment plate like so. And then we're going to drop the equipment plate down because we basically want the equipment plate to snap to this piece like so. Now you can snap it there like that and it's fine. But if you snap it there like that, you're going to have to drop this down. So that's there. So you've got the equipment plate underneath. I should have duplicated that first. I need that. So, yeah, so you got the equipment plate down like so. Oh, no, whoops. I apologize. That was not what I meant to do. Let me just really quickly pull this. As much as everyone says, like, PC Master Race, I find sometimes the PC does funky things. It could just be because I'm on controller. Let me just grab these. Move these across. Now, with this method, you will have to go to a Deimos Star Yard to do this because my outpost does not have these missiles. You can use different missiles if you want to, but yeah, so we have that piece there. And then you drop this down like so. And then all you basically do is you're going to snap the missile on top like so. And we're going to delete the other ones because we can duplicate some of them, but not all of them. And then we're just basically going to force the missiles down. So if we highlight that, highlight the missile, duplicate. So one will drop down. We can drop a second one down. We can drop a third one down. Fourth one will not drop down because we don't have 4. We only have the ones we had. If I try to drop the 4th one, you'll see it won't let me. Be like, no, we can't do that. So then if we move this, you can see that 3 of them have been dropped down. So yeah, so again, 3, you might be fine with 3, but I wanted to have max missiles just because, yeah. So that's how you basically sit them down like that. And then let me, for the underneath section. So you would, like I was saying before, so basically, let me grab this, we'll move this, and we'll move that. So you basically have, the first thing you should want to attach, you've seen how I made all these basically. So you want to put this Deimos belly aft, and it basically sits in line with these things. And then you want to attach your Nova wing. Now, if you're unfamiliar how to do the Nova wing again, I will show you. Just drop this down 1. We'll drop it down 1 more. And we're just basically going to force it up by highlighting it. No, we need to go up, sorry. Oops. Oops. There we go. Now it is up, like so. And then you just basically, all you're going to do is you're going to drop this piece down, delete that one, slide this in, like so, do a little flip technique. And then we're going to add this weapon, which I showed you how to make. And again, we're just going to basically force it up. Sometimes it won't want to, that's fine. There we go, that's up there. And then we want the landing gear. We want to basically slot that in there like so. Now, there's a couple of ways you can kind of get that there. I usually go the method of basically kind of making a little snap piece. So this is one underneath like so. And then you just delete that. And, okay, so we have a problem with this because, again, these are Deimos pieces, but we're going to delete some of the ones here so I can show you how to place them. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to force it up by highlighting it. And then it'll jump down. It'll jump up. Click the bottom one. And then here we go. And now it's in position like so. And then all you need to do is you attach little wings like that. And then I have this piece here. It's a simple flip. And then the back piece again, you can remove this, move this piece back, snap that in, do a little flip, and then just flip that in. And then that's basically how you do that. And then finally we have the engine piece and we have the landing gear. Now the engine piece, I'm going to really remove these sections so you can kind of see the engine piece. I'm just going to delete these real quick. So basically, the engine kind of pieces consist of... So it consists of a Deimos braking engine, a Deimos hull, a Hope-Tech radiator, a Hope-Tech radiator, a Deimos radiator, and then our engine. So we're going to grab... Oh no, that's not what I'll do. So we're going to basically pull this stuff out and we're going to rebuild it. So you want to start off with your... simple... You've got your Deimos hull A, and you've got your Deimos braking engine there, and you've got your winglet. Now you want to get the engine onto it. So what I like to do is we're going to basically add a snap point. I'm going to have to go one higher. So we have a snap point here like so, and we're going to do the technique to basically lower it. Just highlight it, and it'll drop down, and we want to drop it down, I believe. Yeah, that's it. We drop it down like that. So once that's dropped down, next we want to snap this piece in here, but as usual, it doesn't want to snap. So we're going to really quickly duplicate a whole piece to the top, like so. And then we're going to remove it. And then again, we're just going to force it down. And we force it down twice so that only the top sticks out like so. And then finally we have this piece. Again, it won't want to play ball. So we're just going to duplicate another piece up. And we're just going to force it down. Somebody show you all that. And then we're going to drop it down. There we go. And that's basically how you get the engine set up. And then obviously if you want to merge a second engine into it, you want to merge the second engine before... Oh. Still not used to the controls BT. You want to merge the second engine first. So all you want to do is... You want to duplicate that up. Duplicate it up. Come across here. And we're going to merge the second engine in. I don't know if I'm going to have to... Probably delete the other engines. No, we have the engines. Okay, so... You're going to duplicate down once, like so, just so we can kind of get a starting point, and then you want to highlight it, and it'll drop down once, and then it'll drop down again. Oh, whoops, again, too fast, and then it'll drop down again, like so, and then this is just to keep the mobility high. And then the last kind of piece of the puzzle is these landing gears. So I think initially when I was building this ship, I was at a kind of a point where I didn't have any actual ships to kind of use as my main ship. So I started adding some cargo to it, and I realized it was a bit heavy. And I don't think this version doesn't have all the cargo, but I did preemptively put the landing gear. So like I was saying, if we really quickly, let's go back to the start here. So we have I believe three landing gear in each. Yeah, we do, okay. So in order to basically get these, it's pretty straightforward. We're just going to drop this down like so. Going to snap the landing gear like that. Grab this piece. Now you can just duplicate it up like so, and that's where the first one will go. And then you're going to have to basically force it up. So all you do is highlight any piece like that has the it has a snap point on all sides. Grab that, duplicate it up like that. And then duplicate it one more time, like so, and then, yeah, there you go. You do not need all that landing gear. Just to prove that, I'm going to, let me see. Don't think you need that much landing gear, but let me double check. Maybe you do. Okay, yeah, you do. So you need you basically need at least 2 landing gear, I believe, in that. Let me, believe you need at least... Marry. Yeah, okay, so ideally you need at least 4 landing gear to take off the current ship, but I went overboard with the landing gear just because I felt like it was necessary. But yeah, that's pretty much the ship. I hope you guys enjoy it. I really enjoyed making this. I love kind of making, like basically designing ships like lore with the lore behind it. And this one, I think I built it initially as a kind of a, it was just as a kind of a thing, a test. And I posted a picture of it in the Discord, and I kind of like made a little storyline, like, oh, it was spotted at Uranus's moon of Triton, basically, with a load of other UC vessels, and like trying to the Freestar basically like hacked satellite to try and get images of it, but because of its stealth plating, kind of the images were a bit fuzzy and they couldn't determine exactly what it was, but they knew by looking at it this is a stealth vessel. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys think. And I'd be happy to see if you guys have kind of come up with stealth vessels of your own. So I know, I know sometimes when I do these sort of vessels, there's a bit of a uptick in the Discord of people kind of doing their own. And obviously, by the time this goes up, this will probably go up on Thursday. So the deadline for the ships will be done. So obviously, everybody will be kind of focusing on that. But it would be interesting to kind of a little call to arms on the Discord. If you're not on the Discord, link in my bio. Really cool place. We just hit 100. I think we're over 100 members now. Starfield Anonymous. Really cool place. But we might do we have loads of different sections, and one of the sections is kind of a Discord build off sort of thing where we give a specific kind of idea, and then basically people build. Like our last one was I think it was, I want to say it was Tarkon that came up with the idea to basically design a vessel for some of the other Constellation members. So we had some cool vessels designed for, let's say, Vasco, which is funny. I really like that. Anyone who did Vasco really good. We had some for Sarah, some for Andreas, some for Vladimir. So yeah, so I think we'll hopefully we'll kind of do like a stealth idea, stealth ships and stuff. Because obviously, with stealth ships, sci-fi, it's a very big like, what is a stealth ship? When I was kind of designing this, I was thinking kind of like I was basically channeling Mass Effect and Halo and stuff. But yeah, anyway, that's enough blabbering about me. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the content, and check some others. Bye bye.